Come on, let's go be interesting. Review well, come on. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Man Takes Shoes Out of Box, the episode where you get to sit there and watch me take some shoes out of a box and then tell you what I think of them. Today we have a pretty special pair, one of the most hyped up Adidas sneakers we've seen in years, arguably. The Adidas Adistar Jellyfish, the collaboration with Mr. Pharell Williams. The sneaker has been hotly anticipated ever since we first saw these debut back long ago during Paris Fashion Week. This is one of those sneakers that has been generating a lot of hype, a lot of interest, a lot of debates, and they're here now and we have them in hand. They released last week on the 23rd. Very limited quantities of these were made available. They were $300 or £250, and I managed to pick my pair up for retail, unbelievably, thanks to a raffle win courtesy of End Clothing, so shout out to End. If you've been tapped into the sneaker game for some time now, you'll know that Adidas and Pharell have a history of making waves, and the collaboration that Pharell did with Adidas on the NMDs for his Human Race series were like the it sneakers to have back in and around that 2014, 15, 16 period. And I sort of feel like this is Pharrell's biggest, most impactful, most significant sneaker since those original NMDs. This particular design, it's not like wholly new or unique in the sense that it takes its inspiration from the Adidas Adistar. It's inspired by a jellyfish. He has integrated a lot of novel features on this shoe, particularly the use of this TPU exoskeleton as well as this oversized aesthetic. So we might as well just get into it by breaking the shoe down. Right, so let's break down these sneakers, man. The first thing to say is that they are chunky. This isn't your regular Adistar. Especially from the top down, you can really get an appreciation for just how wide these things are, man. Like, stability-wise, these things are solid. What I really like about them aesthetically is the fact that these TPU units, which sort of jut out or protrude from the upper, give the shoe a real nice 3D quality about them, and obviously that's inspired by the jellyfish. These long swooping panels here are supposed to mimic the tendrils or the arms or the legs of the jellyfish as they're sort of floating in water. So that 3D effect of the jellyfish being suspended almost in water has definitely come off, I think, in this shoe. So let's talk a little bit about the materials. You've got a couple of different mesh underlays here, one in white and then another in the olive green. You've got a slightly different mesh material on the heel, which is a little bit more tightly woven. As you can see with the design on the back, man, you've got these little like rubber like strips here, which come with their own little individual ribbing details. You've got the Adidas branding on the back. And then when it comes to the tongue, you've also got this sewn-on patch, which also has the Adidas branding, also the co-branding with the jellyfish, and then the Virginia, which is a nod to Pharrell himself. The lacing system, as you can see, it's an internal loop system, a little bit like you might find on the Jordan 10s or Jordan 11s or whatever. And I guess that's to keep the laces quite central so that the exoskeleton can do its thing. Now, speaking of the exoskeleton, you've got a few different colored panels. Around the top here, it's in a sort of like off gray type colorway. Then you've got the 3 stripes, which also feature in the TPU paneling that almost have, I don't know, like a wind sail vibe to them. Quite parabolic, very cool design. You've even got these like little mini bits here as well in between the 3 stripes. So the extent to which they've really tried to amp up the TPU play on this sneaker cannot be understated. This main panel here, the orange, which extends from the front of the shoe pretty much all the way to the back of the shoe, is also pretty cool. You've got more cream colored TPU here, as well as another panel under. And then this one here almost looks like it's vented as well. And then you get into the midsole, which features in an off-white type colorway. You've got the Adidas torsion system here, which goes from the back of the midsole all the way underneath to add a little bit of stability. It's a little bit firmer, that TPU material. The Adiprene technology in the midsole, nice and soft, nice and cushioned. You get some pods around the back here, which are nice and squishy, which feature in the orange. So the whole like color blocking continuity plays out really nicely. The traction pattern on the outsole is pretty cool as well. Like they didn't even scrimp on the design here. You can see you've got like a wavy design here on the forefoot traction pods. You've also got a series of circles, bigger, that run down the medial side. Down the lateral side, you've got some smaller circles, and then you've also got some similar types of designs in the heel of the shoe. So in terms of like grip, traction, really solid. Midsole, really cushioned. Design, yeah, really cool, man. These things are wild. In terms of the fits and the comforts and the feel, when I first put these on, I was really surprised just how comfortable and light they were. When you're holding the shoe in hand, it really does feel oversized. It feels like it's a little bit kind of comic or cartoonish. But once you put them on, they do feel like sporty. You almost feel like you could break out into a run in these things. In terms of the fits, I would say going true to size is absolutely fine. The internal lace loop system means you can get like a really solid lockdown in these things. I found there was a nice amount of wiggle room in the toe box, and even though they appear to be wide, it's a little bit deceptive because it's actually the way the midsole has been designed to sort of jut out or skirt out to the side, that you can be misled into thinking there's way more room in the toe box than there actually is. In terms of the comfort, yeah, really nice. There's a nice amount of padding around the ankle collar, really nice squishy insole torsion system through the midsole gives a nice amount of support and stability. I actually think it's a really comfortable shoe to wear. In terms of how they look on feet, I think they look cool, man. I think the oversized 3D look is, yeah, really interesting. I think the colorway is really nice. It's very simple, but also quite striking. If you wanted to make a bit of a statement, then it's obviously one of those shoes to wear. It's also a bit of an if you know type sneaker. Most people would take a cursory glance at these and think, oh yeah, that's just another regular pair of Adidas. But those that are in the know are gonna see that color blocking, they're gonna see that TPU popping, and they're gonna be like, okay, bro got lucky in a raffle. Right, so let's talk a little bit about the resale, because some of you guys out there might be keen on getting a pair of these. You might be wondering where the prices are. Here in the UK, the buy now price is £700. The last sale was right around £700, so that's pretty close to like $900 or $1,000 at this point, meaning these things are like crazy priced in the resale market currently. But again, like, you can't be mad at that. That really just reflects how limited these things were. It reflects how desirable these things are, and because this is the first in what we expect to be a bit of a series, considering we've already seen some other colorways out there set to release, these being like the OG jellyfish sneakers, I mean, they're probably going to hold that type of value long term. But as people get their pairs in hands, like I just took delivery of these the other day, prices would probably drop down to their lowest in the coming like next couple of weeks. But beyond that, I feel like these will probably remain a relatively high price shoe, unless of course they decide to restock them or break them out again, but I don't see that happening personally. In terms of their collectability, is this a collectible sneaker? Is this a must-have for any sneaker collector for your collection? I think so. I think the design is so unique and so different, considering how striking and imposing the TPU is on the upper. I think the color blocking's fire. I think the fact that it's a collaboration with Pharell is always good. I mean, Pharell has a long-standing history of making really wicked sneaker collaborations. This is his first hit, you might say, in a minute. I think these are very wearable. I think they're very easy to style. Right, so let's talk a little bit about the quality and the quality control. This was a $300 sneaker, which is up there in terms of like a retail price point. Obviously, that price is a snip contextualized against the resale prices, which are over $1,000, so 300 is going to feel like a steal. But in terms of the quality, it's not like spectacular quality. They've used the synthetic mesh materials and TPU materials, so it very much has the guise of every other synthetic mesh running shoe out there. I feel like the extra price point has come into effect because of this exoskeletal structure and the design and the fabrication and the oversized nature of the midsole, as well as all the technology that has been integrated into it. In terms of the quality control, yeah, they're pretty flawless. I mean, my pair doesn't have any like glue marks. There's no wayward stitching. There's no defects from what I can see. The whole thing has been, made and put together very professionally. And so finally, are they worth the price at the $300 retail? Look, it's hard to ignore the resale prices, so I'm just gonna like come at this from the perspective of someone that landed these for retail and isn't even thinking about the resale prices. So in terms of like the packaging, it's a pretty nondescript black Adidas box. Like, it's not particularly special. So the packaging is a little bit of a disappointment for a £250 or $300 shoe. Extras, there are none to speak of. You don't get any extra laces, you don't get any dust bag, there's no socks, there's no booklets, there's no behind the design. It's just the shoes and the box. And so from that perspective, the extras, yeah, it feels a little bit disappointing having paid all that money to not have had a slightly better box or maybe some extras on top. But that is obviously being a little bit persnickety, and that is coming from the angle of someone that paid retail. And so having said all that, are they worth it for the 250 quid or the $300? I think so. Honestly, I think so. I think it is a really cool shoe. I just think the aesthetic is wild. The design is freaky. They're a real like standout shoe. Yes, they are a bit overpriced at $300 retail, but you can't help but put that price into the wider context of their position in the resale market right now to feel like 300 quid or 250 quid, $300 is like a good price to pay for them. So yeah, I like it. It's one of my favorite sneakers to come out the entire year. It's the first Adidas sneaker to come out in a long time where I've actually been really keen to get my hands on them, not only just to try them out, but to potentially flex them down the line. I'm really looking forward to rocking these and keeping them in the collection. What do you guys think about the Adistar jellyfish now that they're finally here? You guys digging these? Are you guys hating these? Did you guys pick up a pair? Let me know what you thought down below. And as always, I appreciate you guys messing with the content. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.